praying about it, talking it through, having meaningful conversation, even taking notes is important before you bring the children in, because husband and wife got to be on the same page.
Absolutely.
Or you're already starting with division.
Right. We talked about that.
Right.
Two visions, division.
Right. Hey everyone, I'm Larry.
And I'm Julia.
Welcome to the Beautifully Blended podcast, where our passion is to inspire blended families and marriages to find help, hope, and healing. I'm excited. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. It's 2025.
Yeah, it's 2025.
Who'd have thunk?
Right. We made it through 2024.
Yes, we did.
Welcome. Come into the new year.
Yes.
I know 2024 was a challenging year for us.
It was.
We dealt with a lot. We had a loss.
Yep.
We lost people who were really important to us.
Mm-hmm.
And that's always challenging. We moved.
Yeah.
And now we have a whole host of people living in the home with us, which is awesome. It's really good.
It is good.
But we're talking about blending.
Mm-hmm.
And when you talk about blending, it doesn't just apply to the typical definition of a blended family.
Right.
Every family is blending.
Listen.
Every single family is blending.
Right.
When you take some time to go away and you build your career, or you get married to someone else and then you come home to mom and dad's house, blending happens.
Yeah.
So every family is blending, trying to figure it out, but we made it through 2024.
Yes, we did.
And I'm excited about 2025. I'm excited about this podcast and how we're able to help people and be a blessing and share our stories. You got to share more about the crazy things that you do.
The crazy things I do on the podcast.
Yes.
I don't have anything that's top of mind at the moment, but I will. In 2025, that is my resolution.
Thank you.
I will share more crazy things that I do.
Yeah, I appreciate that. You know what's crazy? You brought up resolution. Every year someone makes a New Year's resolution and they don't work.
No. And so I'm hoping mine works.
Well, yeah, I hope yours works too.
You'll hold me accountable to it.
Yeah, every episode we record, I'm going to say, you got to share something crazy.
Yeah, share something.
Tell them how you eat cereal, like at midnight. Tell them.
Yeah. So cereal is one of those things I can eat any time of day or night.
I know.
And I don't know what else to eat. I'll just eat a bowl of cereal.
It's like comfort to some degree.
It is. Yeah. It is. And when I'm sick and I shouldn't eat cereal, it's like really hard.
Okay, look at you leaning into it.
Because I just want some cereal.
You're leaning into it.
I know.
That's awesome.
That's my crazy thing for the day.
All right, so what do you want to say to the people as we get started?
I want to talk about just how marriage can be really hard.
Yeah.
And blending families. And even if you don't, again, have a blended family, it can be really hard. So as we're in this new year, let's talk about vision and how to figure out what kind of vision we should have for our families.
Absolutely good. You know, people do New Year's resolutions, which we talked about.
Right.
They don't work. We say, I'm going to the gym. I remember one year, a couple years ago, I went to the gym and I was going regularly.
You were.
But
you
then I made the worst mistake of my life going like the day, like January 3rd. Mm-hmm. And I walked through the door.
There are probably no treadmills, no bikes.
I'm like, who are all of these people?
Right. Everybody's on them.
Yeah. Everybody was there like working out. By January 15th.
Right.
It was a ghost town.
It was dead.
All over again. And that's the problem with New Year's resolutions, because they don't work. A New Year's resolution is fueled by willpower. It's fueled by this gumption and this inner
what an interesting word, gumption. It's such an old word.
Yeah, I was speaking your language.
You were. I love that.
So it's fueled by like this motivation. I'm going to make this happen.
Yes.
That wears off.
It does.
That wears off.
It does.
That wears
quickly.
Like Peter. By his motivation said, I would not deny you, Jesus.
Okay.
wore right off.
You got deep. Yep.
I did get deep. I pulled the scripture into it because he said he wasn't going to deny Jesus. And then
he did.
He did.
3 times.
3 times, just like Jesus told him he was going to do.
Listen.
So anyway, that's why we write visions.
We write visions.
So we don't deny Jesus. All right, let's talk about vision. We want to talk about a vision for your family, why it's important,
right?
Why you need to have a vision, a family vision, and we'll talk through some ways that you can even create that. And we also have a free tool for you and your family, which we will talk about towards the end of the podcast, and how you can get the free tool, and it will help you to craft a family vision for you and yours.
Right.
Okay.
So as we dive into this idea of a family vision, we got to define what is vision.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So vision is the ability to think and make a plan for the future.
Right.
So that is vision, to think and plan for the future.
Right. And we want our families who are listening and our married couples to think about what a vision for your family is for your future.
Right.
Scripture has something to say, and I got 2 versions here. We're going to read Proverbs 29, probably in the most familiar version, because people read it and they say, where there is no vision, the people perish. But he that keepeth the law, happy is he. Mm-hmm. And that's the King James Version. Right. It's the version I grew up on.
Yeah. Ditto.
Yeah, right. So very specifically, it talks about vision. And if you don't have a vision, it says the people perish. But let's look at the New Living Translation. Same verse, different translation. It says, when people do not accept divine guidance, they run wild. Right? But whoever obeys the law is joyful. I read those 2. The King James Version, it gives me a different thought than the New Living Translation. And I like the New Living Translation for one particular reason. The King James Version says, where there is no vision. New Living Translation says, when people do not accept divine guidance.
Yeah.
So when I think about the first one, it puts me in the mindset that I can create my own vision.
Right.
And if I create my own vision without divine guidance, then I'm still going to have the same problems that I had before. But this tells us that we have to learn to accept divine guidance. So I wrote this down because I thought this was a great way to sum it up. When God and his vision for humanity, family, and marriage are not accepted and central to our lives will run out of control.
Amen. That's good.
Yeah, and that's the bottom line.
It will run right out of control.
Our lives will run completely out of control. If we don't have a vision, and that vision isn't centered in God's vision for humanity and family, then our lives are going to run out of control. We have no direction.
Right. Right. So one of the things I thought about when you were talking about that verse, in particular, New Living Translation, it says they run wild. I was thinking about how without vision, without structure, without order, without some kind of plan, kids will run wild. It doesn't matter if they're young or old. You need to have that vision. You need to have this is our plan. This is what we're going to do. Yeah. And if you don't have that, it's just chaos.
Yeah, it's chaos. So it to your point, having a vision for your family matters.
It does.
How many times have we entered a year?
Right.
And we go from December 31st into January 1st, and we're like, yeah, everything's going to be great this year. Not without a vision, it won't.
Oh, no.
Not without a plan, it won't. Not without a well thought out plan, well-structured plan for you to get from point A to point B. Your family will be just as chaotic in January as it was in December. It'll be just as confusing in January as it was in December. So crafting a vision for your family, we are telling you this is something that is essential for 2025. It is something that is essential for all of you who are watching, and we're going to go ahead and get into it.
One of the reasons it's important, we need to have direction and purpose for our families. So often, I feel like, especially, and I think it's really good that we're talking about this in January, coming on the heels of December, it's like a race to the finish. It's messy, it's crazy,
Right.
it's chaotic. Even if you don't celebrate the commercial holidays,
Yeah.
it's still a lot to get through the end of the year. So you kind of come through that season, and a lot of times I feel like we come through purposeless.
Yeah.
Right? We don't have a real purpose or direction. Our direction is just get everything, get
Right.
through it. And so it's really important to have a direction and purpose for your family as you're
Right.
going into this new year,
Right.
because you need to make sure that you're able to balance all of demands that life throws at you with a vision, with direction, with purpose.
Yeah.
You're able to assess the different things that come at you and say, okay, this does not fit in line with the vision that we have. This doesn't really line up with what we're doing
Right.
this year. There may be all these different opportunities for vacations and different things, but you can say, you know what, our vision, our purpose, what we're doing this year is this.
Yeah.
In order to get there, we're going to have to say no to this and yes to that.
You said about getting through the end of the year, and it made me think how getting through October, November, December, really, we hit the ground running in September when school starts, or the end of August.
Yeah.
But we run nonstop. If you have a family, you're running nonstop.
Yeah.
From the time you end your last vacation to school shopping, to getting supplies for school, to make sure your kids are ready to get on the bus. We had a horrible time with the bus this year. We'll have to talk about that on another episode. It'll be the how to keep my husband from going all off on the people episode.
Right. But it'll be that episode.
It'll be that episode. So we, coming into the fall, when activities start up, soccer starts up. Piano lessons, swimming lessons. Our son wants to do swimming. Like all these things start up.
Right.
Then all of a sudden we got to get ready for all of these parties that we got to have like every day from October to December 31st.
Right.
We got to get ready for all of these celebrations and parties, and we dress up and we dress down, and we got to make new recipes and cakes and pies.
Right.
And we do all of that. By the time we hit January, we want to rest.
Right.
We want to crash. We just want to just say,
right.
It's a new year. And in our minds, I believe that's why we think a New Year's resolution is strong enough to get us through the year, but it's not.
No. We really have to have a clear vision.
Yeah.
And purpose.
Yeah.
Without it, we're just going to be going in different directions. There's tension and there's confusion.
Right.
We want to make sure that we're prioritizing our relationship with our kids.
Yeah.
Within a family, there's so many dynamics, from parents to kids and parents to kids with kids. And so wanting to make sure that we're prioritizing that. And we do that as we create a vision for our family. We include that as part of our vision. Yeah.
Without a singular vision, you open yourself up to division.
Right.
Division, two visions.
Right.
Like Absolutely. If you don't have one singular vision, automatically you're saying I'm okay with division.
Right.
We don't know where we're going, so let's just go in multiple directions.
Right. And it's like, no, it doesn't work. There was a marriage fellowship that we were hosting. And in that, I remember there was a particular couple. We always give them a time to talk it over and talk to each other and talk about some of the things that are happening. And this one particular couple, they were like, yeah, we have different visions, right?
Yeah, I remember that.
Because I have a certain vision for this. He has a certain vision for that. We don't have the same vision.
Right.
So you got to work through that to come up with the same vision. And the same thing is true with this.
Yeah, I don't think you recognize the truest meaning of division, two visions, until you are a visionless family, until you are a visionless couple.
Right.
You feel the effects of division.
Right.
And you wonder why the laundry room looks the same in March as it did in January. Or you wonder why, the bathroom that you wanted to redo isn't redone.
Right.
Because you have two different visions in your family. Or you wonder why your kids are hanging out later than you want to, or hanging with the wrong crowd.
Right.
Well, if you don't have a vision and a direction for your family, the husband, the wife, the mom, the dad, the parents, the kids, everybody, we're going to scatter. We're going to go in completely different directions because we don't have a singular goal that we're all rowing towards achieving.
Absolutely. So without a singular vision, division is inevitable.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
And so some things that are essential when it comes to creating a family vision would be that a family vision clarifies our priorities. Yeah. It makes it very clear. This is our priority. This is what we're doing. This is why we're doing it.
Absolutely.
Things like our faith and our relationships and just shared goals, all of that goes in the umbrella of creating a family vision.
Right.
We can align our family with God's and God's purposes. I remember with having a blended family, there's some other people, again, who are listening and watching who are in the same situation. You have a situation where your kids are coming or going to other parents, or maybe it's a situation where one of the parents has died, and so now you're blended because in the first marriage, the first spouse passed away. Maybe you have older kids. Whatever the case is, making sure that what we do here, this is what we do. This is a clear vision of who we are, what we do, why we do it is really, really important. So regardless of whatever stage your kids may be in or your family may be in, you want to make sure that you're clarifying these are our priorities.
Yeah, I think that's important. In what you described, you have families, in particular blended families. You guys may have a blended family, and we can relate to this, where a typical schedule is 1 week on, 1 week off.
Right.
You're with us for 1 week.
Right.
You're with the other parent for 1 week. You're with us during the week. You're with the other parent for the weekend.
Right.
You're with me on Thanksgiving. You're with them on Christmas.
Right.
So you vacation with us in 24. You vacation with them in 25.
Right.
So this dynamic can be tiring.
Yeah.
It can be exhausting.
Right.
And the parent can feel hopeless because their authority and their influence is being challenged by someone outside of the home.
Right.
There is another authority outside of the home that is shaping my child. There's another authority outside of the home that is influencing my child. There's another authority outside of the home that is telling my son yes when I told my son no.
Right.
I told him he cannot do this, but another parent told him, I don't care what your mom said. You can do this because you're my son, and and whatever that language looks like.
Right.
So having a vision, and this is where it becomes vital. Having a vision in your home.
Right.
Having direction in your home. Having boundaries in your home makes all the difference and creates a culture in your house where your children will understand, I know what the goal is. I know where we are headed as a family. And honestly, it really gives that child a level of stability.
Absolutely.
That is going to help them to thrive as they get older.
Yeah, absolutely. The second thing would be that it creates and it strengthens unity.
Yeah.
You want to be working together as a family unit. You want the teamwork. You want each individual to feel a part of.
Right.
And so you really want to have the vision so that you can strengthen unity. We're united around this singular focus and goal. This is what we're doing. This is what we're accomplishing. And when you do that, to have that shared mission, to have that shared vision, it just makes it that much stronger. It strengthens the family bonds.
Yeah. I think it does do that. It also gives the members of the family a sense of belonging.
Right.
Yeah. Like, I belong here.
Right.
I was a part of, talking about the mission. I remember having family meetings, and we talked about the vision for 2025 for our family. And I feel like I belong in this family. And in particular, in a blended family, you want to create moments where your children feel like they belong.
Right.
It's their home.
Right.
It's, you know, you want to create those moments. So
right.
that strengthening unity is exactly what that does.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I would say the third thing would be that it inspires growth.
Okay.
There's this opportunity for growth and for change to happen. And you don't get that apart from having a vision.
Yeah.
You know, you want to grow, you know, spiritually and emotionally and,
right.
and relationally, one relationship to the other. And you really get that when there's a sense of vision and purpose, like this is where we're headed. This is what we're doing.
Absolutely.
And you want to see that.
If you're not creating or fostering an atmosphere for growth
right.
in your home, in the categories that you mentioned, emotionally, spiritually, relationally, then the family unit becomes stagnant.
Right.
And you wonder why the connections between your 8-year-old and my 8-year-old isn't happening the way that we want them to grow.
Right.
The way that we want it to go. Sorry. They're not coming together. Why aren't they playing together more? Why is one in his room and the other is in his room? Why aren't they coming together? Well, having this vision helps to bring the 8-year-olds together.
Right. Helps
to bring the girls together.
Right.
You know, they may have had different traumatic events elsewhere, but we've created a vision that creates this opportunity for growth. And it really fosters a great environment for connection.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, in a recent class I took, we talked about bridging strategies.
Okay.
And bridging strategies are essentially what we're talking about doing, creating a vision. You recognize where you are, you recognize where you want to be, and then you get the buy-in of those people who are part of it to create the bridging strategy.
Okay, yeah.
How do we get from here to there?
Yeah.
And so taking time to pray to seek God and to craft this vision as a family is a great idea. You get the buy-in from the kids.
Yeah, that's good.
And you want to align it to God's purpose for family. What does God say? You know, you want to look at that. And so I thought about that as you were talking, like, there's a bridging strategy of using all these terms. But it's this bridge between where we are to where we want to be and how are we going to get there? Yeah. Well, you got to get the buy-in of everyone else.
No, that's good. Is that in a book? Or was that like a lecture?
It was in a book.
Okay.
I don't remember the name of the book.
Well, we live together.
We do, so.
So maybe when we get home, you could.
I can show you.
Yeah, you can show me the book. Let's talk about ways to create this vision.
Right.
Like what? Let me go ahead and ask you: what should a mother or a father? What's the first step? What should a family do first?
I would say they need to pray and seek God's guidance. It's so easy to throw things out there.
Yeah.
And just throw things out there on the paper.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
And of course, your kids, they're going to have a range of, depending on their ages, they're going to have a range of things. We need to go to Disney World this year.
Right. That's our vision.
Right. We need to have less chicken, like our kids. Less chicken, more tacos. Like they're going to have all kinds of different ideas.
Yeah.
And so as a husband and wife, you need to definitely pray and see God before. But then you need to model that for your kids. Bring them into it. Like, guys, we're going to pray and we're going to seek God for wisdom on how we're going to do this. Think James 1:5. And we pray as a family together. We seek God.
Yeah.
But again, I believe you start husband and wife, seek God first. And then you pray with your kids and bring them in as well.
I agree. I think the husband and wife, you know, praying about it, talking it through, having meaningful conversation, even taking notes is important before you bring the children in, because the husband and wife got to be on the same page.
Absolutely.
Or you're already starting with division.
Right. We talked about that.
Right.
Two visions, division.
Right. So you're already starting with division if you don't do that. But if the husband and the wife, the mom and the dad come together and pray and say, God, what direction should we go with our family in this year? I think it will be extremely helpful and beneficial. Now, you talked about, you know, less chicken, more tacos. I think that is hilarious. But I also think the parents who are watching, you need to give space for your kids
Right.
to weigh in.
Yes.
In areas like that. Like if they want more tacos, put that in the vision.
Right.
You know, say we're going to have Taco Tuesday or whatever, Taco Sunday. Yeah, we can make any day taco day.
We can Taco Friday. Listen.
Yep. So
it can be a thing.
Yeah, our son is like, can we have tacos today? It's not Tuesday. Yep. Taco Wednesday afternoon. That's what this is.
That's what it can be. Yeah.
So
yeah.
I think there is space, and there should be space again for the kids to feel valued and be heard. Right.
I think the second thing would be just the idea of defining your core values and priorities.
Yeah.
You know, that comes as a result and as part of, you know, your family vision. Yeah. Discuss things with your family. Discuss things like your faith, your relationships, money, how you're serving, what's your service look like, and then just other ways that you can honor God.
Yeah, you know when you talked about like laying these things out, they should be itemized. Like you should be able to look at each item that you believe is important and a core value to your family and write it out.
Right.
But when you talked about money, there was someone at the church that came up to me and they were talking about creating ways for the kids to
in kids ministry
learn how to give, and that should not just be an adult type of thing,
right?
But kids should learn how to be generous as well,
right?
And making sure that you take that just as seriously. Like, you can plan out. You know, we want to take, you know, a vacation in June and put that as part of your family vision. But it's also things like discipline,
right?
Like being a steward and giving well and being generous. It's a matter of stewardship, and that should be upheld within the family as well.
Right.
The intangibles should be written down.
Right.
We're not tolerating bad attitudes,
Right.
and figure out what that looks like.
Right.
When you get corrected. There's something that you say to our son all the time, who, for those of you who don't know, he's 7 years old. And Julia always says, whether you get a yes is determined by how well you take a no.
Yes.
So he has to earn a yes.
Yeah.
It's a right. You earn that right. But I only know that you really want that yes if you can take a no.
Right.
Like if you take a no or you get a no and you throw a whole temper tantrum, like, why not?
Yes is not on the horizon.
No, you have distanced yourself from the nearest yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That yes is not within arm's reach any longer.
No, it is not. It is not.
Oh man.
Oh my gosh. All right. And then the third one, you start talking about that.
Writing a vision.
Yeah. Why don't you talk about that?
Well, make it clear. Like write out a vision. Make it clear. Make sure it's understandable. Make sure everyone in the family participates.
Right.
Make sure, the kids weigh in and they say, well, we would like to see this, and make sure the husband and the wife and everybody weighs in, and you write out a very clear vision and then commit to that vision. What does commitment to that vision look like?
Right.
There may be something in your vision that says, okay, well, we want to donate to the Ronald McDonald House in December. And this is what we want to donate to. Well, a vision for your family like that requires preparation that starts in July.
Right.
Because you have to start to accumulate or maybe save. So if your family wants to make a donation to a children's hospital in December, then as a family, you start working towards that goal in July, in August. And then now this is what we have to do in September to make sure that we are fully prepared to meet that goal in December.
Right. Well, then once you have it, you need to post it somewhere visible.
Yeah, absolutely.
You need to be able to see it. Put it in a refrigerator, the laundry room, the living room, wherever. Put it somewhere visible so that you can always be reminded. That's our goal. Yeah, that's what we're doing.
And I would make a big deal of it. Like, make it a family project. Get poster board and do cutouts go all out. Yeah, if you're creative with a computer, create something that says My Family Vision 2025 and print it out and go to Staples and get it printed or whatever, and make a big deal of it and hang it somewhere visible, like you said. It needs to be seen so you don't forget, so that you stay on track with what your family vision is.
I think one of the other things tied to that and making it visible is that you want to allow your kids to have some role in the accountability process.
Yeah, that's good.
Right?
Yeah.
You want them to be a part of that and say, hey, Mom, I noticed we didn't do this, or hey, Dad, when, you want them to be, you want them to be part of the accountability structure of this. Yeah. And so making it plain and putting it somewhere allows them to do that.
Yeah, I feel like what you just said, it's beautiful because it gives the kids ownership.
Yes.
Like if part of your family vision for 2025 is to eat breakfast together 3 times a week. Mm-hmm. Life can be hectic and maybe you can't do it every day, but you want to eat breakfast together 3 times a week. Mm-hmm. Accountability, if it's written and it's hung in a place that is visible, looks like, I know for our household, our 7-year-old knocking on the door saying, hey, where's the bacon? Like, it's time for breakfast.
Right.
You said that we're going to have breakfast every
Let them
Tuesday.
Tell you what you said.
Let them remind you.
You're right.
And if you're oversleeping, take it on the chin.
Yeah.
Okay? Just take it on the chin and say, you're right. This is
right. Don't say, get out of here, kid.
Right. This is the direction our family, this is our vision. This is what we want to accomplish. Right. Because if you keep pace with that, by the end of the year, you're going to start to see a progress that otherwise you would not see in your family.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So anything else you want to share about that?
No, I mean, I think we were pretty clear on that.
Yeah.
Just have a vision.
Right.
Do it. It's going to be the game changer in our families.
I agree. So we actually have a free gift for you.
Yes.
We have a free tool. It's crafted just for you. It's a family vision tool. Mm-hmm. And if you go to our website and you sign up for our e-newsletter, we will make sure that you get a copy of our family vision tool. And again, this will help you to craft a vision.
Yes.
It will help you to think through the important dynamics of what goes into crafting a vision for your family.
Right.
And if you use this tool, it's going to help you and everyone in your household to create the perfect vision catered to you and your family. So go to our website, sign up for our e-newsletter. We want to get this tool in your hand because it's going to help you a great deal.
Right. The website is beautifullyblendedpodcast.com.
Yeah.
And we want to hear from you. Like, if you use the tool, let us know. Like, we love to hear from you.
Yeah.
If you've used it, tag us on social media.
Yeah.
Put it in the comments of this podcast episode. Yeah. We'd love to hear about it.
We do want to hear from you. So even if you just listen to any episode and it's blessed you, let us know.
Right.
We want to continue to bring you good quality content. Yes. Like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you're watching this on social media or anywhere where you can share this this episode.
Right.
If it blessed you, it can bless somebody else.
Right.
So again, thank you for joining us for the Beautifully Blended podcast. I'm Larry.
I'm Julia.
And we are so grateful that you tapped in, and we look forward to seeing you next time.